Have you ever seen a river cut its way through land, full of bends and twists? It may be calm and quiet, but it never stops moving. We each encounter those moments in life where things don't flow the way we want them to. I want to share how I keep moving forward and how those around me shape the river that is my life. Now, I flow through my life like a river, shaped by my experiences and guided by my surroundings, and constantly adapting as I carve my way through the obstacles in my path. I have faced many struggles, but I grew stronger with each one that I overcame, and through this journey, I have learned how to navigate my way through life. Now, today I'll share the events that helped me go from a stream to a mighty river, starting from when I failed my first year in high school and how that failure taught me responsibility, to the weeding of those pollutants that were ruining my stream, and to the sticking of those that would purify it, and how I found my way to keep moving forward, even after high school, when a large dam blocked my path. Like every great river, my journey started off narrowly and flowed aimlessly along the current. The first bend in my life that allowed me to branch off into a stream of my own came during my first year in high school. I was a freshman year and everything was virtual at the time, and to be honest, it really just felt optional to me. I just sat through the classes and I just flowed through them, just without a care in the world. I procrastinated on my assignments, and I never did the small tedious tasks that I thought wouldn't help me at all. I spent my days floating aimlessly like driftwood, and it was as if I was just letting the water guide me wherever it wanted to take me. But once the end of the year rolled along, I realized that all those small assignments that I didn't do, they came back and they bit me right in the back. And they really damaged me and hurt me because I failed my classes. I had to take summer camp if I want to go on to the next year and not be held back. And it really just messed up my own mindset. At first I was upset and I was embarrassed with myself because I failed easy classes. I failed art, I failed English classes that I normally excel at. However, as the summer went on and I was deeper into the summer class, I realized that it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. Instead, I learned to improve myself through it. I realized that I can no longer cling to the branch that was floating downstream, and that if I wanted to make a change in my future, I would have to carve a way through myself. That time, it didn't just fix my mindset, but it redirected my flow as well. I stopped drifting aimlessly and I branched off to become a river of my own. Now that I have spoken about becoming more than a branch that was just floating in the river to a mighty stream of my own, I'll explore the people who shaped my curves and my bends. Now, as I evolved from a branch to a stream, I began flowing down a path of my own. And as I traveled on, I realized not every other stream was meant to help me grow bigger. Some streams would pollute my waters, and others would try overtaking me. During my sophomore year, I met people who I enjoyed hanging around, and I spent my days with them, eating lunch with them, taking classes with them. However, some of those people, they didn't care about their assignments, and they were doing me more harm than they were doing me good by me hanging around them. They were a bad influence, and these people, they were exactly how I was in my freshman year. And I realized that if I started hanging out with them, they're going to influence my current, and they would eventually destroy the stream that I worked so hard to build up. So I decided to take a step away from them, and I stepped away from those pollutants that were damaging my stream, and I set out to find some people who would amend my mistakes and help purify my waters. Once I stepped away from them, I quickly found a supportive group of people in the course and drama department who helped me figure out who I really was. I discovered a side of myself I never knew I had, and they encouraged me to try new things and grow. And they also gave me a sense of belonging and for that, I'm forever grateful. Never knew I enjoyed that stuff. I never knew those things were of interest to me, but thanks to them, I was able to find my footing. Now, after spending the rest of my time in high school, learning from them, I learned a valuable lesson that good people, they're hard to come by, and when you do find them, you want to stick with them because they're the people that are going to guide you down the rest of your life. They're going to be the ones that set the path for you. They become more than just sticks or leaves that float in your waters. They become the bends and the actual shape that creates the path that your river would follow. And they would help you avoid taking the wrong paths and guide you down the right path. Now that I have cleaned up my waters on high school, it was time for me to move ahead with my life. However, I discovered quickly that there was a dam blocking my way. After high school, I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. When I looked at my friends or my siblings, they all seemed to know what they wanted to do with their lives. They had everything set. And the pressure I felt after high school, from work expectations to college, was almost enough to flood my surroundings, ruining the water that I worked so hard to maintain. I found myself drifting in that first river again, back to square one, back to that log, and I didn't know where I was going. At one point, I just stopped flowing at all, and I was just sitting in the still water, sitting at that dam as the water slowly piled on and on and on, with all the things going on in my mind that was stopping me from going forward. But then I realized that dams, they're not there to halt the water, they're there to control the flow. So I began taking small steps towards the exit, and I extended my hands to those who came before me. My friends helped me. My friends who were already in college helped me find my way, and my brothers and sisters helped me support me from home. It was then that the cracks began forming into the dam, and I realized that all I had to do was take a step forward and move, and not even a dam would be able to stop me. I began planning my path, and I started working at my dad's store, and just like that, I burst through the dam, entering the vast land of opportunity behind it. Now, to sum it all up, just like River, my journey has not been smooth sailing or predictable, but I've kept flowing forward. I've talked about how I shaped my experiences of failing my freshman year and learning about taking responsibility for myself, how I was guided by those who I surrounded myself with, and how I adapted after leaving high school by learning from those who came before me. Even a small stream can carve out a canyon. You just need to start flowing no matter what. Don't stop, whatever the destination might be, and don't be afraid to rely on those who came before you to keep you going. No matter how many twists or obstacles lie ahead of my path, I'll keep flowing forward because a river never stops and neither will I. Thank you so much. My name is Muhammad Haltom.